Hey everyone, this is Alex USA Days, and I just wanted to reflect a little bit on the ChatGPT 5 and the recent Grok and what's happening with the AI. There's still a lot of talk about AI replacing jobs and AI taking over and having sentient AI and AI doing everything. But what ChatGPT 5 showed us that, there's really a wall there. At some point, it just you do realize it's a pattern recognition that is trained on specific data, and there's really no reasoning. There's no human thinking behind the scenes. So whatever pattern is up there, that's something that will be most likely returned. Whatever data it was trained on, that's sort of a result it will produce. It doesn't really get smarter. Even with Grok, the latest update for Grok, they showing great benchmark results, but how they achieve that, I think they just, from what I've seen and I understand, they're just using multiple agents. So it's just AI picking and choosing from multiple AI processed results. So again, it's not really human intelligence in a way, it's still pattern recognition. Large language models predicts the next token based on patterns learned from text. That's it. Magic comes from the scale and training tricks, but the mechanism is still statistical. When a model appears to reason, it's because the statistical path at best continues the conversation often resembles reasoning. This is why LLM excel at rephrasing, summarizing, drafting, code scaffolding, and good enough boilerplate. It's good with pattern-heavy tasks like regexes, JSON files, templates, and so on. But this is why it will always struggle with what is a true in the world versus what is made up in the text, and edge cases that weren't richly represented with training data. The model is a good simulator of plausible text, not a thinker, not someone who understands reality and comes to logical conclusions based on that reality. A lot of companies sell reasoning models with chain of thought, tool usage, longer context, or multi-agent orchestration. They will improve the results, but it will affect your build. You'll have more tokens in, you'll have longer prompts, longer context windows, you'll have more tokens out, you'll have verbose step-by-step answers, but you will also have more calls. And the more tokens to use, the more it's going to cost, the more power will be consumed, the more electricity it will require. It doesn't really scale well until we will be able to solve how to have AI process without tokens. So you can buy better quality and it will be at a price. But this is not really artificial intelligence becoming sentient. And then in case of Grok, when they have multiple agents in the pipeline, it is great for, again, reasoning and patterns, delegating, re-verifying, AI testing AI, and so on. But they're not like little minds collaborating, not really. They're copies of the same pattern machine arranged in roles with guardrails. It will give you better coverage, it will give you more robustness, it won't be a shortcut to sentience. What is missing in the AI, there's no stable self, no understanding of what is self, no continuation of consciousness. There are no grounded world models. Text proxies the world, it isn't the world. We can still build systems that act smart in narrow ways, but we shouldn't confuse them for human behavior. The plateau from the big leaps to useful inches, when we had ChatGPT 2, ChatGPT 4, we saw shocking gains. ChatGPT 5 doesn't seem like a lot of things going on, or isn't better from what you see comparing to ChatGPT 4. Same problems persist, some weird prompts will give you same weird responses. So it looks like at some point we will start moving from general models to efficiently specialized, smaller models that train on the specific data. So you'll have a better tooling designed for specific cases. You will be trained on specialized set of data, and you would like to have short and cheap context that you can give and short and cheap answer that you can receive. Something that doesn't require a lot of power and there's not a lot of token being processed to give you a good response. So AI can automate slices of work. It can help you with parts of code that you need to write, can give you boilerplates and draft, can give you research, It can give you a lot of things, but it doesn't really give you a bundle of everything solved. I mean, you have to coordinate this. Humans will have to coordinate this. It will move the boundaries of how fast and how productive you can be, but it doesn't delete a human. You have to have a person there. You can think about it as a calculator, right? When calculator was invented, all of a sudden you can use a calculator. You don't have to do the math yourself, but you still have to apply it somewhere. You still need to give an input to get an output, and you have to understand why you're using it and where to apply it. So it's not like you don't have to count. I mean, you have to understand what you're counting and why you're counting it. So calculator can give you the result faster than you just going and counting it manually, right? So it's not, AI is not canceling human intelligence. It's just expanding how fast and how good you can do your work. But there still have to be a human in between. So I think in the end, what we will see and how everything shifts, you want to have an optimized for cost per result, not larger models. You only want to have models that reason when it actually makes sense. If there's a happy path answer, just have a cheap response boilerplated in. We'll have more usage, more cache usage. We'll have answers that are saved before and reused. We will need to have more guardrail with verification and add lightweight checks for simple things, prompts that often go off and give you unstable results. So things like that probably going to be just hard coded in, because if it's a factual data, just return this. I don't think you really need to be concerned between, or you don't really have to choose between will AI replace testers and if AI is useless, right? It's a waste of time. I think you should treat it like a new tool, like new power tool that can help you automate and test better. The same thing when Selenium came out, everyone said we will no longer need testers. Selenium automation in general going to test everything. But we've seen cases and cases where over-relying on automation brings disastrous results. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, a recent example would be CrowdStrike outage that happened last year that costed billions of damage, that CrowdStrike paid millions of dollars as because of that damage. That mainly happened because of the reliance and over-reliance on automation without having a human in between. I think AI will be there to help us be more productive as a tool, but humans will stay in charge. We will decide what to test, what kind of risk impact, what to prioritize. We will help and review the acceptance criteria generated or tests generated based on the acceptance criteria. We'll have to think about prioritization of different test cases and negative flows, negative passes. We'll have to judge if something is ready for release or not. And ultimately, it is still human that will be signing off on the product or on the feature, saying, yes, this is good to go, not AI. Because AI is not really responsible for anything. There's no sense of responsibility. AI can go and delete your database, and it wouldn't really care, right? There's no one to hold accountable. Let's talk about some myth and realities that we covered. So, myth that reasoning means that model understands and thinks like a human. The reality, it's longer chains and better orchestration. It is helpful, but it's not human. Still pattern recognition. Myth that more agents is equal more intelligence, but the reality, more agents just means more compute, more cost, and maybe better reliability, but not really more intelligence. Myth that AI will become sentient. I mean, we're building powerful simulators, but we don't really build a system that understands the reality and the world. And another myth that AI will take all the jobs. I mean, the reality is it will reshape the tasks and responsibilities that you will have, but you will have it as a tool paired with your job. So the bottom line is AI is not a brain. It's not a soul. It's not a thinking intelligence. It's a tool to get your job done. It gives you a lot of good answers based on other answers, based on the data that exists. it just comes up with a better choice based on all other scenarios that happened before and data it was trained, right? So in the end, I think as a result of this boom, we will see tools and AI tools that will provide the cheapest and more reliable results that will meet the bar with a human who owns the outcome. So you will have a model trained specifically for specific things that human will control. And that's my thoughts on what's going on with AI and question. I mean, people keep asking, will AI replace us? I don't think so. It's not going to replace testers. And I think that's exactly what's going on right now. We're hitting a point where, you can't really scale more and have a better outcomes. You can scale more, but you will still going to be seeing hallucinations, and you will be at that level that now from a generic AI and even having multiple agents, you need to go into more specialized AI that's trained on a specific data to do only specific things. All right, this was Alex USA Days. Let me know what you think in the comments, and bye-bye.